I do want to get to the latest on the deadly shooting at a high school outside of Atlanta. The father of the 14-year-old student accused of opening fire, killing 2 classmates and 2 teachers, says his son was bullied, tormented, and called gay by his classmates. The comments were made during a police interrogation of Colin Gray last year after the FBI alleged his then 13-year-old son Colt was behind online posts threatening a school shooting. A transcript of that police interrogation was obtained by Fox News. Colin Gray telling law enforcement, quote, "Colt's gone through a lot. It just was very difficult for him to go to school and not get picked on by, it went from one thing to another to, he was talking to the couple friends that he has." The father discussing bullying, telling law enforcement Colt was, quote, ridiculed, quote, "I was trying to get him on the golf team, like, quote, oh, look, Colt's gay. He's dating that guy," just ridiculed him day after day after day. Colt and Colin Gray both face charges in connection with Wednesday's shooting at Apalachee High School in Winder, Georgia, that killed 4 people and wounded 9 others. The teen is charged with murder, and his father is accused of second-degree murder for providing his son with a semi-automatic AR-15 style rifle that was used in the shooting. Arrest warrants say the elder Gray did so knowing his son, quote, was a threat to himself and others. Now, our Fox 5 Atlanta team has been following this around the clock, and I do want to take you to some of their coverage.
The suspected shooter in the Apalachee High School shooting and his father are both behind bars this morning. Yesterday, the pair sat before a judge in separate court hearings. Accused killer, 14-year-old Colt Gray, was first read his charges, including 4 counts of murder. And then his father sat before a judge to hear his, which included involuntary manslaughter. Good day's Lindsay Tuman following these developments live outside the high school this morning with what the judge and the DA had to say about the case. Good morning to you, Lindsay.
Good morning to you, Caitlin. Emotions have certainly been high these last few days, and yesterday we saw that as well in the courtroom while the families of those victims sat and saw the face of the alleged gunman in all of this. Now, this case has also been setting a precedent of sort in how it's being handled, especially in consideration to the suspect's father.
You're charged with 4 counts of felony murder.
14-year-old Colt Gray sat before a judge Friday morning as the victims' families watched from the courtroom. It was the first appearance for the teenager police say is behind the deadly shooting at Apalachee High School that left 4 people dead and 9 others injured. He's being charged as an adult.
Absolutely, not just the victims here, but every victim. And you don't have to have been physically injured in this to be a victim. Everyone in this community is a victim. Every child in that school was a victim.
Piedmont Judicial Circuit District Attorney Brad Smith spoke about the decision to bring charges against the 14-year-old's father, Colin Gray.
My understanding is this is the 2nd time in the United States and the 1st time in Georgia.
The 54-year-old was arrested on Thursday. He's facing charges for second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. Investigators say he allowed his son to have a weapon.
My job is to prosecute people without fear, or affection, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not trying to send a message.
Now, both Colt and Colin Gray both denied to seek bond or declined to seek bond, so they are both held behind bars. Of course, there is a long way to go throughout this legal process, and we'll keep you updated along the way. But for now, that's the latest from Barrow County. I'm Lindsay Tuman for Good Day Atlanta.
Process just beginning. All right, thanks so much, Lindsay. And hundreds of people paused to honor the victims killed in the shooting, gathering in Jug Tavern Park in Winder for a vigil last night. Despite the rain, the crowd pulled together to try and find some semblance of healing and honor the lives of those 4 victims. One man traveled hundreds of miles just to be there.
I'm from a little town just outside of Detroit, Northville, Michigan. Left last night and just arrived about an hour ago. This community is in dire need of hope, healing, and love.
Dan Beasley brought a 10-foot-tall wooden cross to that vigil. He's taking crosses to vigils for other mass shootings across the nation. And in the wake of the violence, we've seen a flood of school threats across our communities. Authorities say they've investigated now hundreds of social media threats over the past 3 days. So far, at least 11 people ranging in age from 12 to 26 have been arrested across several different counties for making threats online or spreading false information about active shooters. Police say these actions are not taken lightly.
It is a very serious threat, implied or not. So the images of guns, they do this to stir the feelings. They want to make people afraid to go to school. And once that post hits the internet, it is spread to thousands upon thousands of accounts. So that fear is not isolated. You could get up to 5 years in prison for this, even as a juvenile.
Police say this is a good time for families to talk with children about the risk of making these kind of threats because they will be held accountable. And experts are sounding the alarm about the impact the violence could have on students' mental health. Professionals say everyone reacts to trauma differently. Seeing violence at such a young age, the fallout can develop in the weeks and months that follow. So let them know it's okay to express how they feel. Be ready to bring in other resources if they exhibit more extreme signs of struggling.
If you start to see acute symptoms where they don't seem to be functioning or they can't return to school without feeling incredibly panicked, or their sleep is off, or their appetite is off, or they're extremely irritable, then you may need to find them professional help and support.
The U.S. Surgeon General cites a recent study that found that 51% of 14 to 17-year-olds in the United States worry about school shootings. So even if your child wasn't directly impacted by the shooting in Barrow County, it can still prompt concerns about if it could happen to them. First responders say a newly installed alarm system helps protect students from the alleged shooter. Panic buttons made by the Atlanta-based Centegix instantly alerted police and the rest of the school that something was terribly wrong. The teachers wear the buttons around their necks with their IDs. Districts like Cobb and Douglas counties have had the technology for years, but Barrow just implemented it within the last week.
For an educator that is wearing one of these, recognizing that there's a critical situation, in this case an active assailant situation, is able to create really kind of that silent panic alert.
Panic alarm system that they had just installed definitely saved lives. You know, in these situations, you know, these critical incidents, seconds count.
According to Barrow County's fire department, that first panic alert came at 10:22 Wednesday morning. Their first crew was on scene by 10:30 and inside the school by 10:34. The scare has renewed a push to get metal detectors installed in schools across the state. A change.org petition has already approached its goal of 5,000 signatures. We are learning new details about the Apalachee school shooting every day and the impact it's having. Fox 5 Atlanta will update you every step of the way. Go ahead, download our news app if you don't have it already.
And a big thank you there to our Fox 5 Atlanta team. We will continue to cover the latest details as they do emerge there and bring them to you right here on Live Now from Fox.